Welcome to the suit of wands, the fire at the heart of the tarot. The wands represent the element of fire, and with it, all things connected to energy, passion, drive, and inspiration. This is the suit of ideas in motion, of bold intentions, creative spark, and the will to act. It's about ambition, vision, and the power that fuels our dreams. In everyday life, wands speak to our work, our passions, our goals, and how we take initiative. They reflect the ways we express ourselves and assert our energy in the world, whether through creativity, leadership, or courageous action. This suit often appears when you're being called to follow your instincts, take a leap, or reconnect with your personal power. The wands are associated with the element of fire, and astrologically, they correspond to the fire signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These signs bring qualities like enthusiasm, confidence, adventure, and a desire for purpose. In a reading, wand cards often signal fast movement, rising motivation, or a need to act decisively. But fire, though inspiring, can also be volatile. When wands show up in their reversed or challenging aspects, they may point to impatience, burnout, anger, or scattered energy. They remind us that passion needs direction, and that unchecked fire can burn rather than build. From the raw potential of the ace to the mastery of the king, the suit of wands tells a story of ambition, action, and the transformative power of purpose. Whether you're being called to lead, to create, or to boldly begin, the wands urge you to trust your inner flame. So ask yourself, what ignites your spirit? And what are you ready to pursue with fire in your heart? The Ace of Wands marks the very first spark, a symbol of pure potential, creative energy, and the call to begin. In the image, a hand emerges from a cloud, holding a blossoming wand. Leaves sprout from it, full of promise and life. In the distance, mountains rise beyond a flowing river, showing that the journey ahead will bring both challenge and growth. But right now, it's all about that first surge of inspiration. Upright, the Ace of Wands signals new beginnings, particularly in the realm of creativity, ambition, and passion. It's that moment when an idea lights up your mind, or when you feel the urge to act on something bold and exciting, whether it's a new project, a personal goal, or a sense of renewed purpose. This card says, the energy is here, strike while it's hot. Reversed, the Ace of Wands may suggest delays, lack of motivation, or creative blockages. You might feel stuck, unsure where to start, or struggling to harness your energy. It's a reminder that potential alone isn't enough. It needs action, direction, and belief. Astrologically, the card aligns with the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and is ruled by Mars. Its raw energy, drive, and the courage to take initiative. As with all aces, it represents a seed, something with great promise if nurtured and acted upon. When the Ace of Wands appears, it's an invitation to say yes to inspiration. Something new is trying to emerge. Are you ready to bring it to life? So ask yourself, what's calling to be created? What bold step are you ready to take? Because the Ace of Wands doesn't wait. It sparks, it moves, and it invites you to follow the fire. The Two of Wands is a card of vision, planning, and standing at the threshold of possibility. A figure in a red robe stands on a stone balcony, looking out over land and sea. In one hand, he holds a globe, a symbol of foresight, ambition, and awareness of the world beyond his current surroundings. One wand is firmly fixed behind him, representing stability in what is known. The other he holds, ready to act, representing choice, direction, and the power to shape what comes next. Upright, the Two of Wands speaks of decision-making and strategic planning. You've moved beyond the initial spark of the ace. Now you're considering how to bring your ideas into the world. It's a time of weighing options, exploring opportunities, and preparing for what lies ahead. There may be a desire to travel, to expand your reach, or to step into new territory. Reversed, the Two of Wands may indicate hesitation, fear of change, or a lack of direction. Perhaps you're struggling to commit to a path, or feeling limited by what's familiar. It's a gentle nudge to reassess your goals and clarify what truly drives you. Astrologically, this card is linked to Mars in Aries, a combination of bold action and pioneering energy with a strong desire to break new ground. Its element is fire, highlighting courage, enthusiasm, and potential. When the Two of Wands appears, it's a moment to consider, where do you want to go and what do you need to get there? The world is in your hands, but action must follow intention. So ask yourself, are you ready to move beyond the comfort of the known? What vision are you prepared to bring to life? Because this card marks the turning point, where thought becomes plan and plan becomes power. The Three of Wands is a card of expansion, foresight, and watching your plans begin to unfold. A figure stands on a hilltop, gazing out over a vast landscape of sea, mountains, and open sky. He holds one wand, while two others stand planted firmly behind him. His posture is calm and assured. The work has begun. Upright, the Three of Wands marks progress. It reflects the early stages of success, the moment when something you've planned or committed to begins to show promise. It's a card of momentum, growth, and optimism about the future. This could relate to travel, business, creativity, or any path where vision is being put into action. You've stepped beyond the planning stage. Now it's about expanding your reach and trusting the process. Reverse, this card can point to delays, missed opportunities, or lack of foresight. Perhaps plans weren't fully formed, or external obstacles are slowing your progress. It's a reminder to stay patient, revisit your strategy, and remain open to new possibilities. Astrologically, the Three of Wands corresponds to the Sun in Aries, a confident, visionary energy that sees beyond the present and moves towards growth with purpose. Its element is fire, giving it drive, confidence, and forward motion. When the Three of Wands appears, it's a sign that things are beginning to move. Keep your eyes on the horizon, trust in your preparation, and be ready to seize what comes next. So ask yourself, what seeds have you planted? And are you ready to step into the broader world that they're beginning to shape? Because this card is about looking ahead, with faith, focus, and a heart set on the journey. The Four of Wands is a card of celebration, stability, and joyful milestones. In the image, two figures raise their arms in triumph beneath a floral canopy, supported by four wands. It's a scene of festivity and harmony. In the background, a castle stands strong, a symbol of security, home, and long-term success. This card radiates warmth, community, and shared happiness. Upright, the Four of Wands represents moments of joy and recognition. It may point to a wedding, a homecoming, a family gathering, or a successful completion of a major phase. It's about coming together with others to mark progress and achievement, honouring how far you've come. There's a sense of ease, of things falling into place, and of being supported and seen by those around you. Reversed, the card can suggest delays in celebrations, or a feeling of disharmony within home or community life. Perhaps you're not feeling as supported as you need to be, or there's tension in what should be a time of peace. It may also ask whether you're acknowledging your own successes enough. Even quiet victories deserve to be honoured. Astrologically, the Four of Wands is associated with Venus in Aries, combining the joy of connection with the boldness to take initiative. Its element is fire, but in this form it is warm, grounding, and life-affirming. When the Four of Wands appears, it's an invitation to pause and enjoy the moment. Stability has been earned and joy is meant to be shared. So ask yourself, what have you built that deserves celebrating? And are you allowing yourself to enjoy the fruits of your efforts? Because this card is a reminder that life isn't just about striving, it's about savouring the sweetness of where you've already arrived. The Five of Wands is a card of conflict, competition, and energetic tension. In the image, five figures clash with wooden wands. It's unclear whether they're fighting, training, or playing, but the scene is chaotic, disorganised, and full of friction. No one seems to be in control. There's movement, passion, and plenty of noise, but not much direction. Upright, the Five of Wands represents disagreements, rivalry, or competing priorities. You may be facing external conflict in a team, a relationship, or a social setting where everyone's trying to speak, but no one's truly listening. It can also point to internal struggles when your own goals and desires are pulling in different directions. While this card can feel frustrating, it's not inherently negative. Sometimes a bit of friction is necessary for growth or breakthrough. Reversed, the card may suggest that conflict is dying down or being avoided. It could be a sign of suppressed tension or passive resistance that needs to be addressed. Alternatively, it may point to inner resolution, finding clarity after confusion, or moving past needless competition. Astrologically, the Five of Wands is linked to Saturn in Leo, the tension between discipline and self-expression, between structure and ego. Its element is fire, so the energy is passionate and quick to rise. When the Five of Wands appears, it encourages you to consider how you're managing conflict. Are you fueling it or finding a way through it? Are you asserting your voice or just adding to the noise? So ask yourself, is this a battle worth fighting, or is there a smarter way to channel your energy? Because sometimes clarity comes not through winning, but through stepping back, regrouping, and choosing a wiser path forward. The Six of Wands is a card of victory, recognition, and public achievement. A rider on a white horse moves through a cheering crowd, holding a wand adorned with a laurel wreath, a symbol of triumph and honour. The horse is calm, the rider confident, and the energy is clear. This is a moment of being seen, celebrated, and acknowledged for your efforts. Upright, the Six of Wands signals success, confidence, and well-earned recognition. It suggests that your hard work is paying off, and others are beginning to notice. This could come in the form of praise, awards, promotions, or simply a sense of personal pride. It's not just about the win, it's about being recognised for the journey it took to get there. Reversed, the card may indicate self-doubt, lack of recognition, or a need for validation. Perhaps you're questioning your success, or feeling like your efforts have gone unnoticed. It might also point to pride becoming arrogance, or focusing too much on how others perceive you. The message here is to ground your confidence in inner worth, not just outward praise. Astrologically, the Six of Wands is associated with Jupiter in Leo, a generous, bold energy that brings expansion, optimism, and the joy of public success. Its element is fire, highlighting motivation, visibility, and action. When the Six of Wands appears, it's time to take a moment to acknowledge how far you've come. Allow yourself to be proud, and let others celebrate with you. So ask yourself, are you allowing yourself to receive the recognition you deserve? And how can you use your success to uplift and inspire others? Because true victory is not just about being seen, it's about rising with integrity and sharing the light you've earned. The Seven of Wands is a card of defense, resilience, and standing your ground. A figure stands on uneven terrain, holding a wand with both hands as six others rise against him. His stance is firm, determined, and alert. Though the ground is shaky, he doesn't back down. He's not starting the fight, but he's prepared to hold his position, no matter what comes his way. Upright, the Seven of Wands represents challenge, opposition, and the need to defend your beliefs, position, or success. You may have already achieved something important, and now comes the test of whether you can hold on to it. This card speaks to confidence under pressure, courage in the face of criticism, and the strength to stay true to yourself, even when it's difficult. Reversed, this card may suggest feeling overwhelmed, underprepared, or unsure of your footing. You might be doubting your ability to keep up the fight, or letting others shake your confidence. It could also indicate a refusal to defend yourself when it's truly needed, a reminder to assert your worth without aggression. Astrologically, the Seven of Wands is linked to Mars in Leo, bold, fiery energy that fights not for attention, but for honour, principle, and authenticity. The element is fire, bringing passion and intensity to whatever you're facing. When the Seven of Wands appears, it's a call to stand tall. Opposition may come, but you've already climbed part of the mountain. Now is not the time to retreat. So ask yourself, what matters enough to defend? And how can you meet resistance with both strength and integrity? Because this card reminds you, courage isn't the absence of challenge, it's the choice to rise in the face of it. The Eight of Wands is a card of swift movement, progress, and unstoppable momentum. In the image, 8 wands fly diagonally across a clear blue sky, with no figures in sight. They are in motion, fast, focused, and headed toward their destination. Below them, a peaceful landscape reminds us that the movement isn't chaotic, it's purposeful. Upright, the Eight of Wands signals acceleration. Things are picking up speed, delays are ending, and progress is flowing freely. Whether it's a project moving forward, a message arriving, or energy being released, this card suggests that events are unfolding rapidly. It's a time to stay alert, flexible, and ready to act, because opportunities may appear suddenly, and you won't want to miss them. Reversed, the energy may be scattered, rushed, or blocked. Perhaps there's miscommunication, poor timing, or something moving too fast for comfort. It could also point to impatience, wanting results without laying the proper groundwork. The message is to slow down, regain clarity, and trust the process. Astrologically, the Eight of Wands is linked to Mercury in Sagittarius, a pairing of quick thinking, expansive ideas, and direct communication. The element is fire, adding energy, enthusiasm, and urgency to whatever is unfolding. When the Eight of Wands appears, it's a green light. Momentum is on your side, and things are aligning more quickly than expected. The key is to ride the wave without losing your focus. So ask yourself, what's moving quickly in your life right now? Are you ready to respond with clarity and intention? Because this card reminds you, when movement comes, it's a gift. The only question is, will you move with it? The Nine of Wands is a card of resilience, perseverance, and standing strong through challenge. In the image, a wounded figure grips a wand, glancing over their shoulder with cautious determination. 8 other wands stand behind them, like a barrier or a reminder of battles already fought. Though tired and bruised, this person has not given up. They are prepared for whatever comes next. Upright, the Nine of Wands speaks to endurance. You've been through struggles, perhaps even setbacks, but you've kept going. This card often appears when you're near the finish line, though you may be feeling worn down or wary of more obstacles. It encourages you to keep pushing forward. You're stronger than you realise, and the final challenge is often the hardest before success arrives. Reverse, the card can suggest exhaustion, paranoia, or defensiveness. You may be expecting the worst, guarding yourself so tightly that you're unable to move forward. It might be time to rest, heal, and assess whether your defences are still serving you, or if they're holding you back. Astrologically, the Nine of Wands is linked to the moon in Sagittarius, a combination of emotional sensitivity and determined spirit. There's a deep desire to complete a journey. Despite emotional uncertainty or fatigue, its element is fire, keeping the spirit of action and passion alive even through hardship. When the Nine of Wands appears, it reminds you that this is not the time to quit. You've already come so far, and your strength has been hard won. So ask yourself, what are you protecting? And do you believe in your ability to finish what you've started? Because this card is the warrior's pause, a breath before the final push. The end is near. Hold your ground. The Ten of Wands is a card of burden, responsibility, and the weight of achievement. A lone figure trudges forward, carrying a heavy bundle of 10 wands. Their posture is bent, their vision obscured by the load. They are close to a village, a destination in sight, but the journey is slow and laboured. This image speaks of carrying too much, often alone. Upright, the Ten of Wands reflects overwhelm. You may have taken on more than you can comfortably handle, perhaps out of duty, ambition, or necessity. It often shows up when success has been achieved, but at a cost. The excitement of progress has given way to pressure, and you're being asked to examine what you're carrying and whether it's truly yours to bear. Reversed, this card may suggest burnout, avoidance of responsibility, or a refusal to ask for help. It can also indicate that a burden is finally being lifted, or that you're learning to set better boundaries. The lesson here is to release what's no longer serving you, and to share the load when needed. Astrologically, the Ten of Wands is associated with Saturn in Sagittarius, the tension between limitation and expansion. There's a deep desire to achieve something meaningful, but it must be managed wisely. The element is fire, showing that your energy is still strong, but in need of redirection. When the Ten of Wands appears, it asks you to pause and reflect. What are you carrying and why? Are you holding on to duties out of fear, pride, or habit? Because this card reminds you, even the strongest cannot carry everything alone. You've proven your strength. Now it's time to lighten the load and move forward with clarity and care. The Page of Wands is a messenger of inspiration, curiosity, and bold beginnings. A young figure stands in the desert, holding a wand upright with both hands. They gaze at it with wonder, as if it's a spark of something new and exciting. The barren land around them suggests untapped potential, a blank canvas waiting for adventure. Though they stand still, everything about this card feels ready to move. Upright, the Page of Wands symbolises fresh energy, enthusiasm, and the early stages of a new journey. This could be a creative project, a personal goal, or a call to explore something unfamiliar. There's passion, but it's untested. This page is the spark, not yet the flame. It encourages you to embrace your ideas, take that first step, and learn through experience. Reversed, the Page of Wands may reflect hesitation, immaturity, or fear of the unknown. You might be second-guessing yourself or struggling to turn inspiration into action. It can also point to scattered energy, chasing excitement without direction. The message is to ground your enthusiasm and be open to learning. Astrologically, the Page of Wands resonates with fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, especially in their youthful, energetic expressions. It's about discovery, exploration, and the willingness to try without needing perfection. The element is, of course, fire, vibrant, expressive, and always moving. When the Page of Wands appears, it's a sign to say yes to curiosity. There may be uncertainty, but there's also excitement. Trust the spark and follow where it leads. So ask yourself, what's calling you to explore? Are you willing to take the first step, even if you don't know exactly where it will lead? Because this card says, the journey begins now, and it's yours to shape. The Knight of Wands is a bold, fiery force, full of drive, ambition, and fearless momentum. Armoured and mounted on a rearing horse, the knight holds his wand high like a torch. His helmet and cloak are adorned with flames and feathers, symbols of passion, confidence, and a desire to stand out. The desert landscape blurs behind him. This is a figure in motion, charging ahead without hesitation. Upright, the Knight of Wands signals action, excitement, and a powerful burst of energy. You may feel inspired to take on a new challenge, launch a project, or pursue something that ignites your spirit. This card is courageous and daring, but not always cautious. It encourages bold moves, but reminds you to keep your focus clear. Reversed, the Knight's energy may become impulsive, reckless, or unfocused. You might be rushing into things without a plan, losing steam just as quickly as you gained it. There could be frustration, delays, or overconfidence. The message here is to channel your energy wisely. Passion without direction can easily burn out. Astrologically, the Knight of Wands is linked to the fire signs, particularly Sagittarius, blending the desire for movement and meaning with a thirst for freedom and adventure. Its element is fire, pushing you toward action, risk, and self-expression. When the Knight of Wands appears, it's time to move, but with awareness. You're being fueled by passion, but be sure you're not charging ahead blindly. So ask yourself, what are you pursuing right now, and is your energy aligned with your true aim? Because this card says go, but take your inner fire with purpose, not just speed. The Queen of Wands is the embodiment of confidence, charisma, and creative power. Seated on a golden throne adorned with sunflowers and lions, the Queen holds a blossoming wand in one hand, a symbol of growth, passion, and life force. At her feet sits a black cat, hinting at her connection to intuition, independence, and just a touch of mystery. She radiates warmth, but she's no stranger to strength. Upright, the Queen of Wands represents self-assurance, leadership, and magnetic energy. She's bold without being brash, grounded yet full of fire. When this card appears, it's a sign that you're stepping into your power or being called to. It's time to express yourself fully, pursue what lights you up, and take up space without apology. This Queen leads by example and inspires others through her presence and authenticity. Reversed, the Queen's energy can become scattered, overly forceful, or hidden. You may be doubting yourself, dimming your light to please others, or struggling to balance ambition with patience. It can also warn against using charm to manipulate or pushing too hard to stay in control. The lesson here is to lead with integrity and confidence, not performance. Astrologically, the Queen of Wands is linked to the fire signs, particularly bringing courage, presence, and a love of life. Her element is fire, shining with passion, creativity, and a can-do spirit. When the Queen of Wands appears, it's an invitation to stand tall in your truth, trust your instincts, own your gifts, and be bold enough to go after what you want. So ask yourself, where in your life can you show up more fully, more confidently? Because this card reminds you, the world doesn't need a quieter version of you. It needs your fire, unfiltered. The King of Wands is a master of vision, leadership, and inspired action. Seated on a throne decorated with lions and salamanders, symbols of strength and transformation, he holds a flowering wand, upright and ready. His gaze is fixed ahead, calm yet powerful, as if surveying the horizon. This is someone who doesn't just dream. He acts, leads, and ignites change. Upright, the King of Wands represents confident leadership, bold decisions, and visionary thinking. He's someone who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go after it, not recklessly, but with clarity and purpose. When this card appears, it may represent you stepping into a leadership role, owning your authority, or being guided by someone with strength, experience, and charisma. This king leads not through force, but through inspiration. He motivates others by living authentically and fearlessly. He's dynamic, entrepreneurial, and future-focused. This card encourages you to trust in your direction, take the reins, and be the one to set things in motion. Reversed, the King of Wands can become controlling, impatient, or overly dominant. It may suggest misuse of power, arrogance, or acting before thinking. Alternatively, it could reflect hesitancy to lead, self-doubt, or a need to reconnect with your long-term vision. Astrologically, the King of Wands is linked to the fire signs, especially Leo. Bold, passionate, creative, and a natural figure of authority. His element is fire in its most mature and steady form, powerful but well-directed. When the King of Wands appears, it's a call to lead with courage, clarity, and purpose. Others may look to you now, so lead with heart. So ask yourself, are you owning your vision or waiting for permission? Because this card reminds you, real leadership begins when you believe in your own fire.